All right, we're back out here with the dragster. We got the wheelie bar on. So I did talk to Mark from EBOX, and he walked me through how to actually use the wheelie bar to learn how to wheelie. And I think in the first video, I pretty much skipped a lot of steps, and that's why I took it off. But once I got on the phone with him, he told me the proper way to use it. And so we got a bunch of friends out here, and we're gonna try to learn how to wheelie. We'll also get Sully Stunts to try it out, who's a little more experienced and probably show us some advanced techniques. According to Mark, he said to put the wheelie bar on this notch. So this is one down from the highest. And so the last time we used it, it was on the highest setting. So I think that was kind of throwing us off when we were trying to learn how to balance. That was one thing. Another thing he said was to commit to putting your feet on the pegs. And so I was dragging my feet because I was a little nervous. I was also in the backyard, so uneven terrain. Now we're in this big parking lot, nice and smooth. This is really how you want to learn this thing, on a smooth, large parking lot with lots of space. And that's about it. I think with the settings here, you know, I find that keeping everything on 0 and then just kind of getting used to the balance point, getting used to popping the bike up is really helpful. And then as you sort of build more confidence, you start putting the levels up accordingly. I also asked Mark what his settings are, and he usually puts it all the way up to top speed, and then he brings the aggression down to about 50%. Let's see if I can get this thing working. All right, here we go. All right, feet on the pegs. There you go. Got some air there. I definitely feel more comfortable with the wheelie bar on this notch. Whoa. That felt more like a power wheelie. That seemed like the longest wheelie. All right, I'm gonna pass it off to someone else, and we'll see how they do.
Not excited for doing wheelies on camera, but we're gonna give it a go here. Aggression all the way down, max speed up just a tiny little bit. I've spent maybe 5 minutes on it so far, trying to just like do stationary kind of wheelies. I don't know what I'm doing really, but I gotta keep my fingers on the brakes, but a touch and go, kind of getting the feeling of where that is, where balance point is. Okay.
Even your pop.
All right, longest wheelie I've ever done, right there.
Settle.
Well, it's 10 minutes of progress. Got the longest wheelie ever for me. I think it's just going to be a few more sessions of that, and then it's going to get more comfortable, and then hopefully the wheelie bar comes off at some point, and the rest will be history.
This is the first day I've tried the dragster, and the first day in many years I've tried to wheelie anything. My last experience with wheelies was sliding on my back on a Schwinn Stingray. So we're going to give this a go, and just trying to get a feel for where the balance point is here. And okay, that wasn't too bad. I ran out of speed, so I couldn't keep the front up. So I'm just going to adjust it a little bit because I've been told this is really sensitive. Yeah, it's sensitive, all right. Okay, going back up. And the balance. Okay. Don't have enough to pop it up on its own just yet. Or at least I don't have the bravery yet. There we go. Okay, that was a nice long one. Thinking I'd turn the speed up just a little bit more. Okay. Ooh.
There you go.
I like it. This bike is super torquey, but the throttle is kind of sensitive at the initial lead-in. And I wish the seat was either slightly longer or had a little bit more of a kick up here, because your weight is focused right on the end of the seat here. Having a little additional bit would help out a lot. The wheelie bar, I think it's a good design. If anything, it helps you experiment finding the balance point without landing on your back and scuffing up the seat. So I think it'd be good for practice and getting a feel for it, and then you can take it from there, take it off, and experiment on someplace soft.
So this is my first time attempting to practice wheelies on this wheelie bar EBOX Dragster mini bike. Never done a wheelie before in my whole life. I've kind of been scared of it, but I saw this bike, like the size, I saw this wheelie bar, and made it look kind of accessible to at least give it a shot. So I'm out here giving it a go with the tutelage of the RunPlayBack crew. I'm a beginner, so it's gonna look bad, but just kind of giving a little bit of throttle, leaning back, and then using the rear brake. And that's honestly been the first kind of hurdle for me. It's just like knowing like the wheelie position, right? A little bit more, and something I keep doing, I give it a little bit too much throttle, and so you'll hear it kind of like jerk back a little bit too quickly. So I still need to practice doing it smoothly and kind of one smooth motion of throttle. Trying to get my feet up on the pegs. Pegs are kind of high. Like whenever I do it, I sort of feel like I'm gonna tip over, but I know it'll come with practice. It's the left leg I'm like stressed about. I got him up. Oh my God. This is dope. This is really cool to play around with. Really great if you're just curious about wheelies, never done one, and want to give it a try. It does feel super accessible, but just definitely like take it easy and don't expect you're gonna do a wheelie the first time. It comes with practice, as everything else does.
So it's my first time sitting on the EBOX Dragster. I'm gonna start out by just pulling it back first, holding the rear brake. So I am 5'9", 185. So we're starting with pulling it back first, leaning back a little bit, holding the rear brake, and just giving a little bit of throttle to start off. It felt pretty good. Just need to get more of a feel for the balance. The hardest part once you get it up to balance point is trying to balance it left to right. So I'm just giving a little bit of throttle, just being gentle with it. Try to get an idea of that balance of left and right. Definitely got to finesse the throttle to keep it up. So that's the first time I've been able to put both feet up. So I think with like with anything, just keep practicing, get a little better. Now, you keep it up, just gotta learn how to do a straight line. There's baby steps, you know, I'm going real slow. Eventually get that balance left to right and be able to turn up the max speed or aggression a little bit. But this is me just after, 10 to 15 minutes sitting on this thing. Definitely feels comfortable once you get to this position though. I don't feel unsafe while I'm sitting in this position. I think this wheelie bar is a great tool to learn how to get your first wheelie. And that's definitely my first successful wheelie on any sort of e-bike. I have tried it on the Sur-On in this parking lot with the wheelie machine, and it's quite difficult, but I feel like this is a much easier starter tool for beginners.
Alright, so first time seeing the EBOX Dragster in person. It is a lot smaller than I thought it would be, but that's fine by me. Fun size is cool. I like fun size. I love the balloon tires on it. I love how it looks like a mini, like Coleman mini bike, but it's got its own style to it, so that's refreshing to see. Something different in the e-bike community that's not run-of-the-mill like a lot of the other things where someone's trying to copy something that already exists. I like that. The mid-drive on these things is amazing because that leads so much room for upgrades in the future. I mean, really all you'd have to do is just make a mounting plate and you could pretty much put any motor you wanted on here. I mean, it would be relatively simple to put an FW11 Soshin. You could put a My 1020. Those are pretty common and cheap and easy to get, and you could easily double the kilowatt out of this thing. It has the adjustment knobs for the speed and the aggression, which this is honestly kind of refreshing, not having to open an app or go onto a display to have to change settings. You can just very simply just reach down and be like, oh, I want to go a little faster. Okay, let's get some more speed. Or, oh, I want a little bit more punch or a little less punch. Okay, well, let's adjust that. And that's super simple and super easy to do, and I kind of enjoy it. I mean, that would be something kind of nice to see on future bikes. All right, well, let's ride this thing. So, I know it has a lot of power. I've seen some videos. I know it's like, right off the rip, it is wildly torquey. So I know wheeling it probably shouldn't be an issue. Let's start with both feet down and see what we can do. Okay, brakes work good. Yeah, they feel really good. For the, I believe they're 2-piston brakes. They're stopping this bike, and it's not a light bike by all means. They're stopping it, you know, about as good as you'd want them to. Oh, Jesus. But like I said, that torque, it'll get you. It's very torquey. But then again, you know, the dials come into play. You can just turn that down just like that, and now it's less torquey than it was just a second ago. Yeah, this is super fun. I love how tiny and nimble it feels. Even though it's got super big balloon tires, it still feels like it's got some mobility to it. The handlebars being big, wide BMX style bars. This is what I put on all my razors when I build out razors anyway. So this is just, I mean, this is exactly how I'd set up a mini bike if I were to set up a mini bike. All right, so let's now try a wheelie with 1 foot down and see how that works. Oh yeah, like butter. Let's try 2 feet. Why not? Bye-bye. A little knee knock action. Oh, this thing is butter. See if we got any combos on it first try. The seat's too slippery with these pants. I'm gonna slide off of it. But yes, no, that's fun. Okay, so obvious first impressions, it's fun. It's got all the power you could ever ask for. It's super easy to adjust it, which is super convenient. It's, you know, I mean, you can turn it all the way down for your kid to ride it to where if you don't tell them how to adjust it, I'm sure they'll figure it out, but if you don't tell them how to adjust it, you know, they wouldn't know. But yeah, so coming from someone who obviously knows how to wheelie a little bit, this, for a beginner, would be absolutely amazing to have, just the ease of accessibility to the tuning and the way it's set up and how low you are to the ground. So if you do make a mistake, you know, you're only falling 1.5 feet versus falling, you know, 3-4 feet down. It would make a killer first bike for anyone that wants to learn how to wheelie or just wants something to cruise around off-road in the trails. It'll easily go up any hill that you would want it to go up, all the torque that you would ever need.